What's up everybody, Ryan Constantino here from Upper State Entertainment, and in this video I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my latest short film titled Elapsed.
Originally when they told us it was going to happen, I didn't really know how to feel.
Do not cry because it's over. Smile that it happened.
So I came up with the idea for Elapsed a couple months ago. I really wanted to do a sci-fi short film, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit different, but still dealt with some of the same concepts that sci-fi is known for. In this case, of course, it is what would happen if a giant asteroid, a planet-sized asteroid, were to collide with the Earth, and how people on the Earth would deal with the fact that that was going to happen. Now, I mean, this is nothing new as far as sci-fi territory is considered, but the reason why this one is a little bit different is because it asks the question, what if the Earth were going to end, but it was going to happen in 10 years from now? What would you do differently? And we follow this one girl and find out, how it affected her life. It also asks the audience to have a little bit of an introspective look into their life and to say to themselves, well, what would I do with my life differently if I knew that I was gonna die in 10 years? I touch on a few things that I wanted to say about the way that people perceive, their limited time on this earth. And for example, some people deal with it in a religious sense, and there's the character on the side of the road with his sign. There are people that take a hedonistic approach and they do things that are satisfying to them, or they think that is going to find them the happiness that they want. And then towards the end of the movie, I'm trying to point out here that the connections that we have with each other on this planet for the little time that we have here are the things that count the most when it comes to living a full life. It was a really fun shoot to put this movie together. It took me 2 days for production. The first day we did about 8 to 10 hours at my office building in Studio City, California, where we shot a lot of the sequences of Liz in the office. And then towards the end of the day, we shot on the roof of the office building, which created a beautiful sunset effect with the clouds and the sky and the sun setting off in the distance, which is exactly what I wanted. However, it was really cold. It was like insanely cold out. January, February weather in LA can be cold sometimes. So, we were kind of freezing and we tried to get through it as fast as we could. And, Liz and Christy, they were really good troopers. They stayed with it and the scene turned out really great. We were rushing through it so quickly that I was kind of concerned, like, oh man, I don't know if this is really gonna cut together that well, or if, the audio was gonna match up, because there was a HVAC unit going off in the background, and there was street noise and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't know if it was gonna work out. So I actually had Liz and Christy redo the entire scene, in the lobby of the building inside where it was warmer. But I ended up not having to use it. The stuff on the rooftop turned out really great, and I just love the way it looks. Both Liz and Christy did such an amazing job. Liz was incredible. There's a section in the script that I had written that her character, starts crying and is breaking down in the middle of the parking garage. But, I had launched her into the scene, and but she was amazing and just really knocked it out. We did it in basically one take, and she's so very talented. I'm so lucky to have her as a part of my projects. And Christy was really great too. She came out and knocked it out just time and again, but all the takes that we did. Big shout out to Peter Molinaro for taking photos and cool videos, all the videos that you're seeing here. He took those. And of course, a big shout out to my mom, Maria. Thank you so much for being there and helping do all kinds of odd jobs like production assistant, camera operator, and so thanks so much for that. And then on the second day, I had Max, my friend Max, come out and do the newscaster segment to be green screened into the television screen at the beginning of the movie. As for the cinematography for this film, I wanted to try things a little bit differently. So for the entire film, I stacked up a Tiffin Diffusion FX1 filter along with an antique black pearl 1/8. And that gave me a softened look with a little bit of halation in the highlights, just enough to kind of take that edge off of the digital video. and I was really pleased with the way that it turned out. I really wanted to try to focus on, taking my time with composing a shot and creating some movement to flow with, the plot of the movie as we're kind of discovering things. For example, when Liz's character first finds out from another coworker that, there's gonna be an asteroid hitting the Earth, I wanted to kind of show that movement as though, it's encroaching on her and it's something that's slowly creeping into her. And then after a while, her character's been dealing with this and thinking about these things over the years. And when she finds out that she won't be able to spend her last moments on Earth with the people that she loves, with her parents, I wanted to illustrate the way that she's feeling by slowly backing away from her with the dolly in order to give it a feeling that she's kind of like shrinking in the world and she's alone, as that character. That's when she's finding out that piece of information. And then in post-production, I did two different primary things. During the color grade, I used the GH Alex RE Alexa film emulation LUT for the Panasonic GH5 Vlog, and then color graded it to kind of make it look, the way that I wanted. And then on top of that, I used a denoiser and added my own film grain. So I kind of had full control over every aspect of both the color, the softness, and the film grain. And I just love the way it turned out. It really has that kind of authentic filmic look to it. And I'm definitely looking forward to using a combination of these things again in the future. This is actually the first time that I had a relaxed environment to do some experimentation with the dolly in a capacity where I could find the right shots and see the composition and really take the time to move the the entire unit around and get a bunch of cool shots. We had the dolly for Robot Mitzvah last year for the 48-hour film contest, and that was a lot of fun. But of course, for the 48-hour film contest, you're just running around like crazy, trying to get as much done as you possibly can. We had some other issues we had to overcome, so experimenting with a dolly and doing cinematography that I was not used to was something that we decided not to do. So with this movie, with Elapsed, I was able to tell the story a little bit better, or frame it in a way with some movement that really supplemented the artistic look and the feeling, the emotion that you're getting from watching this character dealing with the time frame. The music in this film is inspired by an original classic piece of work by Claude Debussy called Clair de Lune, and it is just a beautiful piece of piano that I have fallen in love with over the years, having heard it in so many different places. It's strangely familiar, and it's dramatic, and it's sad, but it's also mysterious, and it's all these different things wrapped up into one. And it's got that kind of that sci-fi twist to it, that tune that makes you feel like it's otherworldly. And when I say it's inspired by, I mean that I took most of the notes from that song and supplemented it in a different time signature than the original piece is played at. The original time signature for the song is something crazy. It's like 7/9 or something like really insane like that, but that's what makes it such a unique piece. But after thinking about it for a while, I decided that I wanted to restructure the time signature to more closely match that of the everyday world, and I wanted to present a kind of a ticking clock type feel, as though every moment that passes, this asteroid is coming closer and closer to the Earth. So I took all the notes and reformed it, restructured it to be 4/4, and in order to do that, I had to rearrange a couple notes and actually add a note or two at the end of the progression in order for it to match. And then I pulled the pieces of the song that I liked the most and put that into what ended up being the score. I laid out a piano track and ended up cutting the film to the piano track. Then after the film was finished, then I went backwards and recomposed the entire score to it to include things like strings and that ticking clock. And I actually added a separate layer of piano notes, but used a synth to give that kind of that sci-fi feeling, that otherworldly, spacey effect. It's throughout the entire movie. Overall, I had such a great time putting this movie together. It was a lot different than a bunch of the other movies that I've made in the past. I've done so much of the 48-hour film contest shenanigans that I decided to take a step away from that, and start focusing on doing the types of films that I wanted to do, that allowed me to experiment, to break new ground, and to learn a lot of things along the way. I had so much fun making it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching.